Oh, hello. My name is Jenna, and this is Gin and Tonic. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you are a cocktail drinking nerd like me, tune in and join me for a drink. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and tune in for my videos weekly. This week, I wanted to do a bee's knees, and there's a reason for that. A couple reasons, really. One is I have this adorable little bee that one of my subscribers, Kenya, gave to me. Thank you so much. And also, it's a new year, so I know everybody's thinking about ways that they can be healthier, or a lot of us are. And this is a very easy drink to make some improvements on to make a little bit healthier. So first of all, what is a bee's knees and where did it originate? Bee's knees was a term that came out of the Prohibition era, and it was a slang term that meant outstanding or excellent. The drink was invented by Frank Meyer, a bartender at the Ritz in Paris in 1921, and quickly made its way over to America. It was very popular over here because during Prohibition, a lot of the gin in particular that was being consumed was being homemade and probably had a very harsh taste to it. So they would take a little bit of honey, mix it with the gin to soften it up a little bit, and then when you add the lemon juice on top of that, it made for a pretty decent cocktail. The basic recipe is very simple to make, and you can find it in the 3-ingredient cocktail book, which I refer to quite often to use for a lot of my base cocktails, and I can include the link for you in my about. The basic recipe is 2 ounces of gin, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, and a 1/2 ounce of honey syrup. For my recipe, I wanted to do a ginger honey syrup, which I'll get to why in a moment. What I did was I took a 1/2 cup of honey, a 1/2 cup of water, heated those up until the honey was dissolved, added my sliced ginger, let it simmer for about 5 minutes, and then removed it from the heat. Let it sit with the lid on it for about an hour to really get that ginger infused with the syrup, and then simply strained it into my mason jar. For my recipe today, I wanted to make some substitutions to add some additional health benefits. And the first thing that I did was substitute the lemon juice for kombucha. And this is, if you're not familiar with it, this is a fermented tea that's supposed to help with digestion. It's very widely available at any supermarket, and there's a ton of different flavors and brands available. I like a lot of them. The one thing I do like to pay attention to is how much sugar is in it, because some of them do get a little bit out of control there. So that's why I picked kombucha, and it's really easy to substitute if you have a cocktail that's got some kind of sour in it, so either a lemon, a lime, an orange juice. Kombucha is naturally a pretty sour tasting drink, so it's very easy to swap out or add a little bit with any type of a drink that has a sour component to it. And then honey or honey syrup is traditionally used to make a bee's knees. I wanted to infuse mine with some ginger, not only because the ginger is in the kombucha, but it also has a lot of its own health benefits, including being an anti-inflammatory. A bee's knees is traditionally shaken, so if you're going to make this with the traditional lemon juice, then I would recommend you do it that way. Today, because I am substituting my lemon juice for kombucha, I'm going to stir it because kombucha is effervescent, and if you shake it, it will go everywhere. So first step, I've got 2 ounces of my gin to put in my glass, and I am using my Modern Mixologist line. I will include the discount code for you as always there. So 2 ounces of the Plymouth gin. And I picked this one. If you watched last week, I did have a few different gins that I was featuring for my gin and tonics. I thought this one would be the best choice for this because it's dry, citrusy, and I knew it wouldn't compete too much with the honey and the kombucha that I'm mixing in with it. So 2 ounces of that. And then I'm gonna do a 1/2 ounce of the ginger honey syrup that I made earlier today. I'm gonna go ahead and add my ice. Give that a stir. And then I'm gonna add my kombucha over top of that. It is 3/4 lemon juice that you would normally use. When I tried this kombucha with this to test out the recipe, I thought that it was a little milder than the lemon juice, so I am actually gonna go ahead and use 1 ounce. And then it is effervescent, so I'm just gonna give it a light stir to incorporate the kombucha because I've already chilled it down. And then for my vessel, I'm very excited to be using my bee. When you're using a glass like this, very important to have a straw, and I'll include a link for some metal straws that you can get to do a variety of cocktails. Lemon peeler for this one, just gonna do a nice long spiral around the lemon. And then after you get that, if you wanna get it nice and curly, you can take something like the little spoon that came with my bee to spiral it around to create a nice little dainty spiral. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of the ginger that ended up being candied from the honey syrup earlier today. Include a little bit of that on my pick. Spiral my lemon around it. And obviously you don't have to do this. I just had the stuff here, so I figured why not go the extra step for you today. And then I'll slide that into my little bee there. And there you have it, bee's knees. That's really tasty. The kombucha and the ginger from the ginger syrup really come through. You honestly almost can't even tell that there's kombucha in it because of the honey. Really nice. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed my special presentation of the bee's knees. Please leave any comments or questions that you have for me below. I am Jenna, and this is Gin and Tonic.